Hey, you want to speak English like a native English speaker, right? You want to sound natural. You really want to speak English fluently. Well, in order to do that, you must use the words and expressions that we actually use in real life. And that's exactly why I created this series for you. Real life English. Now, I'm going to teach you words and expressions that we really use. Are you ready? Well then, I'm Teacher Tiffani. Let's jump right in. So we're going to look at our first situation, a group of young ladies, and we're going to see how I, as a native English speaker, would describe this situation. Now, looking at this situation, I first see these two young ladies in front. And I would say, wow, dependable. Now, I want you to watch me really quickly. After me, dependable. Excellent. One more time after me. Dependable. Good job. Now, again, when I see these two young women, I think of dependable. But what does the word dependable actually mean? So dependable means trustworthy, reliable, and capable of being trusted or depended on. So when I look at those two young women, I see one is leaning on the other. I think, man, she really trusts her. She really can rely on her. And maybe in your life, there is someone that you truly rely on, someone that's always there for you. You can say, my friend, my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, wow, they're really dependable. Makes sense, right? Now, let's look at an example sentence right here. Repeat after me. Her boss said that she was a very dependable assistant. Your turn. Excellent. Now we're seeing in this sentence how to use dependable to describe someone. Now I do want to remind you really quickly that this word can be used all the time, not just in a business environment. You can also use it when speaking to your friends and in other environments. So one more time after me, dependable. Excellent. All right, now let's go to our next word. Looking at this picture, I would next notice this young lady right here. Beautiful smile. And I would say exuberant. Exuberant. Now, after me, this one's a little tricky. After me, exuberant. Good. Last time after me, exuberant. Good job. Now, what does the word exuberant mean? This is a word, again, that popped in my head when I first saw the situation. Exuberant means joyously, unrestrained, and enthusiastic. Many people tell me a lot, Teacher Tiffani, you're so enthusiastic. Well, now you can say, teacher, you are such an exuberant individual. Makes sense, right? Now, think about someone around you. Someone who is enthusiastic, always full of joy, someone that makes you smile. That person is an exuberant individual. Now, let me show you an example sentence, how to actually use this word in real life. Here we go. After me, he has such an exuberant personality. Good job. You can use it like this, an exuberant personality. Now keep paying attention because we do have a quiz coming up soon. All right. So again, we learned the first one, dependable, the second one, exuberant, looking at this picture. Now then my eyes naturally would go to the top left, and I see this young lady and she looks reserved. One more time after me, reserved. And maybe you're thinking, wow, teacher, what does that word mean? Why did that word pop up in your head, Teacher Tiffani? Well, after me one more time. Reserved. Excellent. Very good. Now, again, if you need practice and help with your pronunciation, you can always download my app, English with Tiffani. The link is right in the description. There's a pronunciation course and a conversation course within the app. So you can download it and get help with your pronunciation right now. But again, this word reserved is very important. Reserved means restrained in words and actions. Now, I am not a reserved person. I'm very outgoing. I like talking to people, but a reserved person kind of holds back a little bit. They don't talk as much to other people. They just kind of are a little quieter around bigger groups of people. just like in the picture, you can tell that the woman seems a little bit shy, a little bit reserved. Maybe someone you know is reserved. One of my closest friends, she is very reserved. When we get in big groups, she kind of gets quiet and just kind of sits in the background. She is reserved. So how would you use this in a sentence? Here we go. You can use it like this and repeat after me. My friend is more reserved than I am, but she loves being around people. Makes sense, all right? Repeat after me again. My friend is more reserved than I am, but she loves being around people. Your turn. Good job. Excellent job. All right. So now you understand what the word reserved means. Now, I do want to give you this tip really quickly. This word can be used for people and for animals. Maybe you have a pet. Maybe you have a dog or a cat, and your dog or cat loves you, but when other people come around, the dog kind of goes in the background. Very shy, doesn't like talking to other people, doesn't like playing with other people. You can say, my dog is a little bit reserved. Makes sense, right? Okay, good. So now we have 3 words. We had dependable, exuberant, and reserved. Now, when I go back and look at this image, the next thing I notice are these other 2 women right here. I notice these women and I say, you know what? Ride or die. Huh? Ride or die? Why would you say that, teacher? Don't you worry. I'm going to explain. Now, this is actually a slang term. So after me, ride or die. Good job. Now, ride or die. This actually is something that you should know. It means to be extremely loyal. So it refers to extreme loyalty to someone or something. When you are willing to do anything for someone you love or someone you really appreciate in your life. You can say, that's my ride or die. You see how I kind of changed even the way I said it? It's slang, right? So we say, my ride or die. This person is so loyal to me. They'll do anything for me. We say ride or die in English. Now, let me show you an example sentence that will help you use this word in real life. Here we go. My best friend will always be my ride or die. Your turn. Good job. Now, maybe you have the same thing. You have a best friend that really is your ride or die. My best friend is my ride or die. Make sense? All right, good job. Now, when I go back and I look at the image, I see something else. I go back and I look at these ladies and I notice within the first 2 ladies, the other lady on the right, something about her expression. She looks self-assured. Again, after me, self-assured. Good. Last time after me, self-assured. Great job. Now, self-assured, this is when someone is super confident. So this is an expression, this combination of 2 words. It means confident in one's own abilities or character. And when I looked at that picture and I saw that woman, she just looked confident. She looked like she could conquer the world. So the first thing that popped in my head literally was self-assured. So again, now you know the word or the expression you can use in this situation. But let's check an example sentence. Here we go. After me, the new employees could tell that their boss was a very self-assured and confident leader. Your turn. Good job. Excellent. Self-assured, extremely confident. So again, you can use this self-assured in place of confident if you'd like. Makes sense, right? Now, remember, I told you that a quiz is coming, but I want to give you this quick tip. This can be used, self-assured can be used to compliment or insult someone. So you must be careful how you use it, okay? You can say, you're too self-assured. That's kind of an insult. But if you say, I love my boss, she's so self-assured, that's a compliment. So it all depends on the way that you actually say it. Make sense? All right, so again, great. You've learned dependable, exuberant, reserved, ride or die, and self-assured. So now you know what time it is. it's time for your English quiz. Now, I want to know if you are ready for this quiz. I want to see how much you remember from our lesson. So let's start off with question number 1. Here's the question. I want you to fill in the blank with the word or expression we learned today. Now remember, you only have right here 5 seconds. All right, here's the sentence. The interview revealed that he was a very blank and mature young man. You have 5 seconds. Ready? And now I want you, remember, you only have 5 seconds. So here we go. Ready, go. Time. All right. Now, what is the answer? The answer is self-assured. I think you got it, right? Good, good. All right. So now let's go to the next question. Let's go to the next question and see if you can get the answer right for question number 2. All right. Question number 2. Since her mom was always there for her, the woman said she was her. What's the answer? Here's the timer. Time. What's the answer? Come on, I know you know it. Exactly. She was her ride or die. Excellent. Very good job. Very good job. All right, now let's go to question number 3. Here we go. The question is, and let's reset the timer, is my friend is quiet and, here's the timer. Quiet and what? Time. All right. The answer to the question is what? My friend is quiet and reserved. Very good. I think you got it. Excellent. Excellent. Now let's move on to question number 4. You're doing a great job. Here we go. Question number 4. His passion revealed that he was a very dancer. This one's a little harder. He was a very dancer. 5 seconds. Here we go. Oh, it went a little faster. I'll give you 2 more seconds. Time. All right. What's the answer? Come on. You know it. Exuberant. Excellent. An exuberant dancer. Very good. Very good. All right. Last quiz question. Here's the last quiz question. Now, here's the question. I need someone. Here's the sentence. I need someone blank to take care of the children while I'm at work. I need someone blank to take care of the children while I'm at work. 5 seconds. Time. What's the answer? Come on, I know you got it. Exactly. I need someone dependable, someone I can rely on to take care of the children while I'm at work. Excellent job. Very, very good. So again, you learned the words and you got the quiz questions right. Now, I do want to quickly give you some patterns to use. For example, dependable. You can use this pattern to make your own sentence. The pattern is the name is the most dependable person I know because, and then you give the reason. So let me show you what that would look like. Again, you can use this pattern. If you want to see this written down, just go to the website speakenglishwithtiffani.com and you'll see this post for this YouTube video and you can copy down the notes. Here's what this would look like using the pattern. Mark, the name, is the most dependable person I know because he is always there when I need him. Okay, makes sense, right? Use the pattern to actually make the sentence, all right? Let's keep going. Here we go. Next one is exuberant. Exuberant. Now, with exuberant, here's the sentence pattern. The exuberant person, and then a description of the person, and then an action connected to their exuberance. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this, all right? It's the pattern, but here's an example. The exuberant woman, that's the person, with the long hair, that's a description. And what's the action? Enjoys making other people laugh. So using the pattern, you're able to make a sentence properly in English and use the word. All right, what about reserved? We learned reserved. Here's the pattern. Person was very reserved, so person didn't, and then the action connected to being reserved. So what does this look like? Here's the example sentence using this pattern. Her brother was very reserved, so he, person, didn't speak to anyone at the event. So we're using the pattern and making a sentence for the word reserved. All right, now what about ride or die? You know, I like that one, talking about someone who's always be there for you. Here's the pattern. Person has been my ride or die since, and then the time period. So what about my best friend? Let me show you how I would use this pattern. She has been my ride or die since we were in the 4th grade. And that's true, actually. She's been my ride or die since we were in the 4th grade. Person, she, her name is Wilma. And then time period, since we were in the 4th grade. Now, last one, what about self-assured? Now, self-assured, here's the pattern. A self-assured person usually, now change the parentheses, action connected to being self-assured. So here's what you can say for this one. I said, a self-assured person usually speaks well in front of a crowd of people. So I used the pattern and made a perfect English sentence, and you can do the same. So again, you learned quite a few words today, real words. You learned real life English that will help you sound like a native English speaker. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope that you use the words and expressions and start sounding like a native English speaker. Remember, don't forget to download the English with Tiffani app. The link is right in the description. I hope you have an awesome day and an awesome week, and I'll catch you next time. You still there? You know what time it is. It's story time. Hey, I said it's story time. All right. So today I want to tell you a story about my ride or die, my best friend. So I have to be very careful with the names that I use in this story, just in case they watch this video later. So this was when I was in college. Now, I had dated a guy all through high school, at the beginning of high school, and we also kind of hooked up a little bit throughout college. But we weren't together at the time of this story. So my best friend and I, we were going to another friend's event, and this guy just happened to also be at the event. So myself, I was going, and my ride or die, my best friend was coming with me. So we were at the event, and we were actually sitting at a table about to eat lunch. And she and I were sitting there talking, and the guy, the one I used to date, sat right in front of us. So it was my friend and I sitting next to each other, and then the guy sat in front of us. Now, we didn't have a bad breakup, but it was still a little bit awkward between us. So he sat down and he started talking. Now, of course, he was looking at me. He knew my best friend. But he was talking to me, and my best friend could tell that I wasn't necessarily comfortable. I wasn't nervous. It was more of, why are we talking? Like, we're not together, and, you're with somebody else. I'm confused why he's sitting here. That was going on in my mind, and my best friend picked it up. So he's sitting there talking to me, and the conversation kind of dwindles and kind of stops a little bit, and he's just sitting there looking at me. So my best friend, let me tell you something about her. Yes, she's my ride or die, but she's also a very reserved person, like we learned. She's a little bit shy, and she's not really the person you'll see make the first step or make the first introduction. She's kind of shy. So I was sitting there, and the guy was looking at me, and I was looking at him, and it was getting a little bit awkward. And my best friend, who was reserved, said, "Why are you still sitting here?" And she was talking to him. It caught me off guard. And he looked at her. She said, "If you're done, it's okay to walk away." Now, the thing is, she's a very reserved person. She doesn't normally do things like that. So I looked at her because it caught me off guard. And then I looked at him, and he looked at her, and then he looked back at me, and I just shrugged my shoulders because I didn't know what to say. She said, "It's okay for you to walk away. It's okay if the conversation is done." And he did walk away. Now, don't get me wrong. We're all still friends. Like this happened a long time ago. But in that moment, I realized my best friend may be reserved, but when she needs to talk, when she needs to speak up, she will. Let's just say he never started an awkward conversation with me again when she was around. Now, since that time, we've had many conversations. We've talked a lot on the phone and everything, he and I. But I will never forget that situation because my friend, the reserved person that I thought would never speak up in certain situations, actually spoke up to stand up for me in that situation. So maybe you have a friend like that too. Your ride or die that maybe he or she is reserved or seems like they want to be in the background, but when it's time, they speak up and stand up for you. So it was a shorter story today, but something that I will never, ever forget. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you continue to study English. I will see you next week.